Hi, this is my adventurer character design and for animation production process TV2. This is my low poly character based on myself. I did not draw the character before doing him, but I did take inspiration from looking at myself enough. And I do have wider shoulders than my waist, do have a narrow jaw, kind of a long neck. I gave him thick eyebrows and skin tone similar to mine. I, I just try to make him a stylized 3D version of myself. So keeping it while keeping him low poly. And I sculpted him in ZBrush, although I had to retopologize him in Maya to reduce the polys. And around the face, I focused making loops around the lips, the nose, around the eyes. Faces that wouldn't be seen, I tried deleting. Like I didn't waste time on sculpting feet because he'd have shoes on around the wrist. I twisted his topology so that if his wrist turned, the topology wouldn't deform. I ended up creating some UV textures for the pants and cap, as well as the bag. I textured them later on. The trees were simply made of cylinders that were either extruded along curves to create a tree shape or just cylinders extruded straight upwards and outwards to create a pine tree. I saved myself time by duplicating a leaf and onto one branch and duplicating that branch all over the tree instead of having to place everything. The diorama started off as a road cyclist. Then I realized it was not adventurer enough. It looked a bit too normal. So I changed the scene to look more rugged, to make him look like a mountain biker. Added some water to make the scene more interesting, just by playing around with the transmissions and the colors, the roughness, specularity to make it look like water. I don't want it to be too clear, so I added some brown in it because it would be a forest, and the water can be murky and dirty. So because the characters would not be animated, I saved myself time on the second one by uh, already putting him in his pose by creating posing the subtools to look like a dog running, and then I merged them, smoothed them out, and I had a dog shape, and I automatically retopologized in Maya to save myself time from retopologizing, especially because I couldn't be able to mirror this character because it was already posed in ZBrush. The bag box modeled it in Maya and textured it from pictures I found on Google. The bike, I followed a tutorial on YouTube on how to make a bike, but ended up just keeping it simpler so that I would save myself time. It already looked like a bike and I didn't want to go further. I used Mixamo to create this pose for my character in the diorama. It looked pretty cool. The way he was jumping looked like he was really immersed in really having fun in the forest with his pet. Although I did also pose the character myself with a basic rig on the bike. So here's him running, and then here's him on his bike with the textures on his bag and everything. You can see there's a bit of color to the water. It's because I added an HDRI with a sunset. Thank you very much. This is my project.